Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. I listened to the audiobook which I got from the library. Don't ask why I have a physical copy of the book. I do, but I haven't actually read this. So I listened to it and it's a pretty decent book. I'll be honest, I don't know why Apple TV turned it into a TV show. After reading this, I did not think to myself, this absolutely needed to have millions of dollars spent on it, to have sets and locations and famous actors, and have cameras film this. It's not overly cinematic or televisual. There's nothing inherently visual about the story. And the story is ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, slightly on the inconsequential side. So I listened to the audiobook and I finished it a few days ago, and I've puzzled as to why they made it. It just doesn't seem necessary. But then I realised, oh, Apple TV are in the classy high end of the TV business and film business. And what this is basically another version of Mad Men, the TV show about 60s advertising. That's a very classy TV show with a great reputation. Not many people watched it, but it was adored by the right type of people. As I say, it was considered to be a very classy programme. Exactly the type of thing Apple would like. So what I think happened was Apple recognised this is our Mad Men, a 60s thing with a bunch of sexism in it. And if you are a fan of Mad Men, then you will probably get more out of this book than some other people would. I do not have Apple TV at this point in time. If I did, I would have watched the show I would have started it if I enjoyed it, I would have kept going. It would have been of interest to me, and if I do get Apple TV in the future, once again, I will certainly have this as a high priority to watch. So anyway, as a book, it presents itself. This might just be my perception. I've not read up on it. I've not gone on Wikipedia or Goodreads to check on the actual the opinions people have on it. But as a general rule of thumb, I'm assuming this is considered to be quite a classy piece of literature. This is literature. This is comparable to something like Where'd You Go, Bernadette? Aimed at women, but certainly not chick lit. Certainly several notches above that. Much more literary in nature than chick lit. But having listened to the audiobook, I don't think it really is proper literature. Yes, it is better written than most books. The writing appears, as far as I could tell, listening to the audiobook, it is well written and there's a lot of merit to it. But I do think it's slightly trashier than its literary appearance. The thing that annoys me about the story is it has a lot of coincidences. People just happen to have, in the long run it turns out, oh, this person has super mega wealthy parents. Oh, isn't that lucky? And that happens to everyone every other day, doesn't it? Someone's pen pal from 20 years ago by coincidence turns up and gets connected into the family. There's many big coincidences in the story. And as a piece of literature, you kind of go, is this good writing and good plotting, or is this just kind of, convenient, trashy, this will do type of writing and plotting? So I did not mind it. I thought the thing was of some. Certainly, it was entertaining to listen to it, and some of it's a wee bit twee. It has there's a dog in the story, and the dog is treated almost like a human being with an almost human being point of view, which is, in my opinion, a little bit on the twee side. And the book has a cliche that no one ever talks about. No one ever says this is a cliche, but I noticed it when I watched a movie by Jon Favreau called Chef, about a restaurant chef who gets into a big massive feud with a critic and ends up getting fired from his restaurant, and he ends up opening up a travelling van to cook gourmet food, and the critic who he had the argument with kind of follows him around, and they keep the feud going, and it's all happening on Twitter. Online people are posting about the feud, and everyone gets all excited, and every single thing that happens in this feud goes viral. It's such a massive big deal. And to me, when I was watching that movie, which is could be more than a decade ago, I think the movie's like 2014 maybe, something like that. When I watched the movie, I thought to myself, this is a new cliche. In movies, anytime someone does anything online, it always goes viral and everyone gives a toss, and it doesn't just disappear into a black hole, which is the reality of most things. This video I am making right now will disappear into a black hole. Will I have as much as 10 clicks on this video? Probably not. So this one has her having her own TV show, and it goes the 60s version of viral, and everyone cares, and it becomes a big massive hit and super popular, and all the housewives who are watching it go crazy for it, and everyone starts to take an interest in chemistry, and everyone drops what they're doing, and this becomes the centre of attention, this TV show, whereas in reality no one would really care. It would just be something on in the background that would have no real cultural impact. Whatever, I'm just saying it's one of those things where anything a character does in a movie or a book becomes a big deal instead of just disappearing into a black hole, which is what happens with most things online. So I have a few complaints with the book. I did not think it was a great book, and I will have to admit, if I had to physically read the actual paper book, all those words, I don't know if I would finish it. I don't know if it would hold my attention enough. I am glad I had the audiobook. I think it was, certainly for me personally, a lot easier to listen to as an audiobook than it is to actually read. I've not attempted to read this. I've read like 1 or 2 pages and that's it. I don't know if I probably would have skipped pages just to get on with it a bit. I don't know. I don't think it was any great masterpiece. The book is fine. I liked the book but did not love it. Did not think it was anything great. And it's not as classy as the writing and the presentation and maybe its reputation would suggest it is. It's a bit more, I wouldn't call it trashy, but it's not a piece of great literature. So I would give Lessons in Chemistry a slightly harsh 6 out of 10.
Her pencil in midair as if reconsidering. Play sports at recess, but do not automatically let the boys win, she wrote on another slip. Then she paused again, tapping her pencil against the table. It is not your imagination, she wrote on a third. Most people are awful. She placed the last 2 on top. Most young children can't read, and if they can, it's mostly words like dog and go. But Madeline had been reading since age 3, and now, at age 5, was already through most of Dickens. Madeline was that kind of child. The kind who could hum a Bach concerto but couldn't tie her own shoes. The kind who could explain the Earth's rotation but stumbled at tic-tac-toe. And that was the problem. Because while musical prodigies are always celebrated, early readers aren't. And that's because early readers are only good at something others will eventually be good at, too. So being first isn't special. It's just annoying. Madeline understood this. That's why she made it a point each morning, after her mother had left and while her babysitter neighbor Harriet was busy, to extract the notes from the lunchbox, read them, then store them with all the other notes that she kept in a shoebox in the back of her closet.